Last year I reviewed the biggest meditation apps. We found that Insight Timer was best for most people, whilst Waking Up was best for those wanting deep practice. But there were a lot of apps I didn't cover, and everyone wants to know about balance. So what's the best alternative meditation app? Let's find out. Present. My reasons for meditating are limited to having something wrong with me, and it feels presumptuous that I want a reminder. And then in the meditations, these big ideas are oversimplified. The presentation is limited too. There's only one path of progression. In the end, Present feels like having a rude friend who thinks they know what's best for you, and then their teaching methods and consequently teachings are out of touch. I selected that I have advanced meditation experience, and yet I'm stuck doing a 10-lesson basic meditation course, and every other meditation except for one is locked. The meditation is fine, but evidently there is an extremely small content library. $60 is probably a fair cost for what's there, but then there's just not enough content to download and justify this purchase in the first place. A lot of people are calling this app a scam, and that may be the only way to explain this amount of ratings on such a forgettable app. Uninstalled. Balance. At the time of making this video, you can get your first year free. This alone makes Balance stand out. From all the expensive subscriptions, 1-week trials, and automatic charges if you forget to cancel any time, that are standard amongst other apps like Calm and Headspace. Meditation has the ability to radically transform your entire life, but sometimes it's reduced to some kind of productivity hack. When I'm selecting my reason for meditating, I choose mood, and I'm relieved that this is an option. Mood is a good word. It's open and it could mean more than just happiness. I'll take it. The problem with gamification of meditation apps is that often you end up performing something that barely resembles meditation in order to justify playing an equally compromised mobile phone game. Thankfully with Balance, it's less contrived. You practice meditation and then you're rewarded by the simple visualization of your skills leveling up. If you're encouraged to practice consistently so that you can reach level 6 self-direction, it's obvious to me how that could be a good thing. A good teacher makes you less reliant on them over time. I don't get a sense that Balance has a problem with you using the app for the year and then moving on independently. A simplistic and no-frills progress tracker enables you to see your commitment and dedication without making your progress about the arbitrary attainment of lots of time trained. Balance adapts as you interact with the app, and it's not like the introductory survey simply equates to ranking the meditation library. In fact, the style of presentation actually adapts. For instance, a beginner will get more instructions than someone who has more experience. Also, although you receive a suggestion for what to practice and for how long to practice, depending on what you've filled out, you can, for example, change the length of the meditation right before starting. This makes the app much more effective at meeting your actual, present, and ever-changing needs. I also like the personalized daily meditation page. Mine was very achievable, changed throughout the day, and nicely balanced. I was motivated to meditate, and the pics easily fit into my day throughout my day, which is how meditation can really start to transform one's entire life. Meditation certainly comes from the opposite world to apps, but Balance is really using the form to create something new that works and makes sense, in a style that meditation hasn't been revealed through before. Balance defied my expectations. Balance is actually quite good. I will be keeping this app installed because I want to see what it's like using this app for longer, especially for the free year. I'm not convinced this is an essential meditation app like Insight Timer you want to have for the meditation timer, and Waking Up you need to have for the discussions on meditation. If there were ever an app to get good at meditating, not to dabble, not to get into the esoteric, it's probably this one. I think you have to try it for yourself. 10% Happier. This app immediately stands out because unlike the other apps in this review, it's obvious that it's still being worked on and that it's active. Whilst I was trialing the app, there was the Dalai Lama's Guide to Happiness 10-day meditation challenge event. There's a lot on there and for all types of meditators, with all the different reasons for coming to meditation, and all the content is current and curated intuitively. The app costs $165, but of all the apps with payment barriers, it's probably the best one. Personally, I'm not that taken by 10% Happier though.
Beginners, I think there are two big benefits. The first is focus.
The creator Dan Harris is a journalist, and whilst he's good at spreading and revealing ideas, his personal meditation qualifications don't technically exist. Of course, there are great teachers on the app that he interviews, but I don't get the sense that this app is the best form for meditation to be able to decisively uproot your life and transform it in all the fantastic and radical ways that it can. I want this app to be more powerful and impressive, and I feel like it could be if the person behind it all, Dan Harris, was more of an advanced meditator. If you come out of the same world as Dan, if you're corporate, or a person who wants a moderate exposure to meditation that you can easily fit in and balance amongst your ongoing life, then sure, this is probably a great app for you. In fact, it may be a more accessible option for you to pay for and download this app to use whilst you commute than to look up and get to in-person trainings or read books, which are other great ideas and my usual first suggestions. It seems possible. For me, it will be uninstalled. Bloom. It's definitely feminine and I like it. $95, and that might be a fair price. You get a lot of different stuff with this app. It's like a Nintendo game with info being shared through these speech pop-ups, and of course the floating Glossifleur. The floating flower blooms the more you practice, and it's a cute metaphorical way to show progress. It's very fun and novel. I like it, and I find it encouraging. It feels like if you like the idea of going to get a massage, you might really appreciate this app. If you're a little hedonistic, if you like the superficial elements of spirituality, you might welcome this app as a happy addition to your life. With the travel tab in the mix, it does seem like this app is trying to be an all-in-one stop. But I start thinking that there are probably just better ways of going about everything that you see on this app. Like if you're the sort of person who enjoys these pictures, you're probably not the sort of person who wants to be experiencing this kind of spirituality through a phone. You actually want to be there. And so I can't really imagine the target audience for this app being motivated to use this app for a lot of meditation practice. The target user of this app might prefer to use their money to get them doing all these fun spiritual things they see on the app in the physical rather than virtual world. I want to play the colouring game for longer. I know that I can meditate on here, but I'm not confident that I can build a meditation practice out of this app. There's nothing deep on here. I almost could have kept this app installed, but it's not worth my money because I have more effective ways of going about everything that's on offer here. Maybe you could use it as a supplement if it's your sort of thing. You might leave it installed. I'll be uninstalling it. What's my final assessment? No, look, I think you can do a lot better. Uninstalled. I want more for you. Bloom isn't a part of the worst problems in the world, but you still don't need Bloom. You need to meditate on impermanence, and then you will find more compelling ways to spend your time than being lost in the allure of this app. Simple habit. With 3 prompts, they really want you to turn notifications on. The writing style is very self-interested and unaware of the user. In fact, after only having just opened the app, I get the sense that this app cares most about the app and least about the user. $165. It's essentially just a library of meditations organized under different headings, and that's about all there is to review here. Simple Habit doesn't have any particular flair and warrants no special comments. Oh, yes, it did have a particularly entertaining appearance on Shark Tank. But for me, that's as good as it gets with Simple Habit. This app just doesn't do a lot in a very boring and predictable way. To justify spending money on this and to actually help people meditate, it should have something going on. But there's nothing profound about this app. Uninstalled. On this one, I'm going to have to be out. Oak. I was really excited to try Oak because it's aesthetic, cohesive, and simple. This app clearly has its own style and charm, and it's these sorts of products that make me feel like I'm a part of something really special. And because this app is free until further notice, it's very safe for you to try it out for yourself. In fact, if you have no ideas about what you're looking for, you might as well start here. The meditations are linear and customizable in all the ways that matter. You can pick the duration, the vocal quality, background noise, and if you want to lead in time. As you meditate more, you unlock badges, which mean nothing, but they're subtle and grand enough in their art style that for what it's worth, which is nothing, I think they feel prestigious, and I feel encouraged to honestly earn the discovery of what the Infinite badge looks like and what comes after it. Oak is satisfyingly straightforward. In fact, you could use it to replace Insight Timer in favor of simplification. However, and it is unfortunate that this app, by all intents and purposes, is dead, y'all. It hasn't been updated for 2 years, and the courses section, which you can still get for free, just has the same one from 2 years ago. So you know, my suspicion is that whilst there's no harm in trying it, this app will probably end up uninstalled. The inactivity and unbalanced underdevelopment of this app agitates all my anxieties Oak was starting to soothe. There it is, folks. We've now nearly explored all of your meditation app options, and I'm happy that we've made some new discoveries. You can watch my previous review for my thoughts on the most popular meditation apps. It's still Insight Timer for most casual meditators, but maybe Balance if you like routine and want to feel a part of something more guided. Waking Up for going deep. Remember, you also don't need an app. There are endless hours of talks by the greatest yogis on the other side of the Google search bar. Meditation classes are available in many local communities. There are countless amounts of books, respected meditation institutions online and in the real world. Let me know what your experience has been in the comments below, and feel free to like and subscribe to support the channel. My best wishes for you, and may we all come to know such wonderful ways of being.